You girls ready for a Footywired review? Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the preview of round four. It's gather round, and the whole AFL community is gathered in Adelaide, but you're gathered here. I'd like to thank the girls for that brilliant introduction. Thanks, Melly. Thanks, Sis. Go back to sleep. Sorry for annoying you. Um, but let's get going with the review this week. Just remember, the weather is going to be fine for the rest of the week in Adelaide, so I won't have to do a weather forecast for you. But anyway, let's start off with a review for the week. Let's start off with the games first, so you can all see that tomorrow there is a game at 5 o'clock or 5:10, which is Brisbane and North, um, and then two games tomorrow, three games on Saturday, and three games on Sunday, as you can tell. So make sure you've got your teams in for Brisbane and North Melbourne by 5 o'clock tomorrow, especially if you're playing a loophole like I will be. But let's get going. First of all, Michael's done a few extra things. If you want to search for a player, just say you want to see, you got the mid-season draft coming up, want to see if a player's doing all right. So you might put in Stringer, who isn't selected. And you can tell he's not selected because there's nothing here. You can see how his stats are for the season. 3 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals. Remember, it is contract year, so if anyone's looking for Jake Stringer in the mid-season draft, he's doing all right. And you know, if you want to search for a player, for example, who is picked, you will see that overview. They've got their team name, who they're picked for there as well. So that's a bit of a feature that Michael's done. Go away. Well, anyway, so this is annoying. How do I get that off now? Now my whole thing's frozen on me. Trying to show Michael's new features. Anyway, let's get rid of that. And then what he's also done is if you click on the little screen here, the menu comes on. And the little three lines, the menu goes away, comes on, menu comes on, menu goes off, menu goes on, menu goes off, menu goes on. And then you can obviously go to the different things, check out your squad, go to game day, go to the fixture. The fixture also has, not only for this week's fixture, where it would have the best team for the round once it's done. Also got this round four fixture, plus it's also got the ladder after round three and the team's form. So I presume Mock will put a 5 game form once there is 5 games. We're in our fifth game this week. Um, Obviously you got the teams, and you can check to see who every player's got. And then obviously you can check players as well. If you want to check players for the mid-season draft, I thought he did have a draft page there, but he's got rid of it, so you can check to see who's doing all right, who's the best player, best utility so far. It's not there. So if you look at goals, um, this year's stats. No, it's not this year's stats. It must be last year's stats. And Michael's going to put it in the draft page soon because the mid-season draft isn't far away. Anyway, let's go to game day. Is where we want to go. We'll get rid of the menu. And let's start off with this week's rounds. We'll start off with the game of the round. It's third versus second. Gators Bitches versus Rangers Anonymous. I'm there an average of 337, which is the second worst in the comp. But on third, 3-1. It's going to come back and bite me in the ass soon. Versus Kenner, who is flying. He's got a lot of players that are flying as well. So let's go and have a look at it. Full forwards, Kerno and Cadman. In the half forward, I've got King and against Cameron. So you've got the Cameron half forward line. Utility is Bont versus Toronto. Is Toronto going to have a game like he did last week? Absolutely phenomenal last week, 106 or 70 points he got. Where Bont's been down in his average. He averaged 104 last year and he's only averaging 92 this year. I've got the Ruckman, Grundy. Hopefully he does all right against West Coast. Morello O'Brien says down 11%, but his average was 43. So 39 as a Ruckman, still pretty good. So he's obviously played already today. And then midfield. Well, midfield may change. I'm still considering bringing either to go who's been down or one of my Hawthorn boys, or not sure. I want to see how Zoka goes tomorrow. And then he's got Lockie Neal, who may have an ankle injury. Claudio Boston had a fantastic game last week. I think he got 80 or something. He 20 odd kicks, 12 intercept, whatever he had. It was awesome last week. You can actually see what he done. 2024, 23 kicks, 13 marks, 15 intercept possessions, 8 rebound 50s, and he got 3 1%ers. So had a fantastic game for Boston last week. And then Rowbottom, who is the leading tackler in the game at the moment, I know he has to play one extra game, but he's got 20 more tackles than anyone else this season, I heard on the radio today. Anyone else played today? Well, Keziah Pickett would have got 23 as a half forward, 23 as a full forward, and 34 as a tackler, so he missed out. And obviously, I had no one there. So at the moment, it's 39-0 with the Ruckman played. Ketter's pre-match projection is 401.4. At the moment, he's projected for 396. Still projected to beat me, and my projection was 383. So let's move to the next game of the round. We'll go with the top of the table, Maltese Falcons versus Sugar Daddies. Pre-match projections there, big one, 421.6 against pre-match 443. So a couple big scores in line here. The averages are obviously there as well, the latter positions, as you can tell. So start off full forward, Dixon and Mackay. Mackay's been absolutely great this year. He's kicked a total of 11 goals so far this season. So he's playing well. It's interesting who's Alex Pearce going to go to. He's going to go to Kerno, he's going to go to Mackay. Hopefully he goes to Mackay. Hogan is just into new deal with GWS and the Sugar Daddies. So he's at half forward against Warner, who's playing West Coast. Remember, they scored 230 points or something last year against West Coast, won by 170 points. Anyone with Sydney players could be dangerous. Sarong averaging 103.2 as utility against Tom Green averaging 103.1. What a utility battle. Look at that. Fantastic. Then obviously both Ruckman. Lloyd Meek. Ned Reeves was named, but I don't know if Ned Reeves will play. He had 45 points last week, and then Sherry had a good game as well. Rouse back against GWS, and Millis, the two Gold Coast boys, up against each other. Will Dacos cop a tag? That's the question. Will Finn McGuinness be as effective on Dacos as he's normally been? Or is he going to go to him? So it'll be interesting to see on that one, and we're not going to find out to the very last game. So who knows? I wonder if that's going to decide the game that this fixture of that last game whether Dacos gets a tag or not. Wangley Malira was a bit down last week, but he did get 72 weeks ago. So 55 as a halfback, still great. And Riley Bonner, that's just means he's named to the bench, but as if he's not going to play, he's been great. So two St Kilda boys as a halfbacks. Then Cripps as a tackler, and Setterfield will be back in the team. Petrarca today, who, by the way, Petrarca was fantastic today. He was best on ground by far. As a utility, 95, half forward, 39, mid 59, halfback or tackle 45. So if you think about it, he might possibly either go in as a follower, or maybe he puts in 95 as utility and puts Sarong in as a follower. Probably the positions that Petrarca might get there, and I can't see it being anywhere else, to be honest. One of those ones. Where Stephen May is a halfback of 56. Freddy's probably going to keep Bonner there, I reckon. Nowhere else will Stephen May to play. Anyone else have anyone tonight? Rochelle, not that great. And yeah, obviously, you can all see who your options are. If you want to see how they've gone, just click on the I button and you can see how they've gone so far, whether you want to put them in or not. And that one. Next game is Renegades versus Punters Paddock. What have we got here? Pre-match projection 412 for Renegades versus Punters Paddock 375. Swear to God, I must have the worst pre-game projection. So Renegades projected the winner there. It's fourth versus fifth. Probably should have done the second game, as that's probably the second best game. So 4 people in the top 5 play each other this week. So Langford, don't know if he's going to be as good as effective tomorrow as a half forward, but Stiff's both forwards are playing. Well, Stiff's got 4 players in tomorrow night's game. Whereas finally, Punters Paddock put in Elliott, and he's got Rosie tomorrow as well. Dawson, utility 79, down 12% on his total score. He has been down so far this year. And Gorn got 45, was up 5%. Chalor was great last week in the mid against West Coast, and he's up against Geelong this week. And then Sinclair as the halfback, whereas Warple was fantastic last week, and hopefully he plays great again this week. And Nick Martin, he's gone different. He's gone Nick Martin as a midfield and put Blake as a halfback. So he's gone with the optimised squad that Michael showed everyone how to get their optimised teams from last week, as you can tell. If you go to the previous round and click on what you've done. You can go to your optimized lineups and you can see who your best players were at that position. If you want to do that to see who was the best player for your team last week, but there was some buys last week. As soon as we can get out of that, it'll be great. So we're back to round 4. So round 4. Who else we got? We got Dunkley as a tackler as well, and like Davis Jr. They're playing those two players playing the 5 o'clock game. So he's got LDU as his interchange. So we had 79 and 45 there. We got Viney here, who maybe get position as a tackler because Atkins is averaging 30 as a tackler, and Atkins was sub last week. So perhaps Coley might take the 40 points as a tackler for Atkins. What's that little thing there, Michael? Oh, okay, here we go. I never noticed this. So if you click on the little note next to their score, you can see what their actually stats were for the game if people want to do that to see what they actually got. So there you go. That's something else that Michael's done there. Anyone else they could have had? Fritsch kicked 36 points as a full forward, 36 as a half forward. And then Rankin as well. So probably, yeah, I mean, Elliott and Fritsch, but Elliott's got 40 the last 2 times, and Hawthorn haven't been that great, to be honest. So we'll see if that pays off or not. So that's those 2 teams, 412 to 357. Next game we'll look at, let's go to Top Guns and Seek and Destroy. So 7th versus 9th. I feel like it's a new logo for Top Guns. Pre-match average 373.5 against 386.7. So close game there. The week before, I think, or no, maybe not. But Top Guns had a few good players. You've got Heaney and Papley up against West Coast, and McDonald up against West Coast. So everyone's hoping that there's another performance like last week. Danaher's a half forward against North Melbourne. So this could be dangerous. Houston half forward, so he's still stayed with that. And then we got Parrish as utility. Naismith in as a ruck. Now Naismith's on the bench. I don't know if he will get a game for Sunday. He might just be the extended bench. Do you not have another ruckman? Got Nan Curvis. Do you know something that we don't, Aussie? So interesting to see what happens with that one. And then against Luke Jackson, Brayshaw, Anderson, good contest. Flanders and Lloyd. Lloyd is the fellow. He did all right last week. He got 20 kicks last week or something like that. 19 kicks last week. So he did do well last week. Luke Ryan's been phenomenal as a halfback, averaging almost 70 against Will Power. Still as a tackler's been great as well against William Drew. Then Oliver tonight was down, so he's not going to get a game. I think he only got 15 possessions or something like that. What do you get? 16 possessions, so he's not going to get a game. And Laird, yeah, interesting to see if he gets a run as well. So other options, not really much with Berry there, and Ben Key's not much of an option there as well for those 2 teams. So let's look at the last game. It is Bombers Forever versus Gods Olympus, 10th versus 8th. Both these teams only have 1 win for the season, so a pre-match projection of 373.5 versus 394.9. So for this round, Matt Crouch got 51 from Michael as a midfielder, and Tex Walker. Tex Walker may get a run at a full forward to swap for you or Hagen. That might be an option there. But have a look at Hagen and Daniels. So he has not changed his team from last week, or he has. No, he did change his team from last week, and he's probably going to keep it there, to be honest. I think McGovern's not doing too bad, and McGrath's not doing too bad, so they might look at getting a run soon. But probably should, yeah. English utility, Draper's the ruckman who's down. I still think the best option is playing English as your ruckman and playing someone else as utility, but it's not my team. Libba, tackler, Stewart, halfback, 65.6 as a halfback, so that's great as well. And Sheezel could almost be halfback as well. Butters has been in good form this year as well. Hawkins, everyone's always doubts the Western Bulldogs defence, so let's see if he has another good game. He did get about 2 or 3 cheapies last week, but he still kicked 4 goals. Michael's gone back with Bolton as a half forward after last week, and then Marshall as the utility, Big Oscar as the ruckman. Darcy Ford's been dropped, so he would be the ruckman on his own. So you think he'll have a better score than he did last week. Then Lockie Whitfield as the half forward, and Sicily. Sicily had 35 possessions last time against Collingwood, which included 24 kicks. So we'll see if that happens again. Then Alec Yeo, who had a very good game as a tackler, and Michael's gone with interchange. Gordon is the interchange against West Coast on Saturday afternoon. Who they have today? Hinge as a halfback, 48, 82 utility, not too bad. Probably not going to get a game though, and Salem didn't have a very good game, and over here Sparrow didn't have a great game either, really. So that's all. That's the preview for this week's rounds. If we go back and just have a quick look at the let's go to the squads once again. Just a reminder: these are the games this week. 5 o'clock tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow, and then 1:30 on Saturday, and then 12:30 Sunday is GWS versus Giants to finish it all off at 5:10 for Collingwood and Hawthorn. So, look, thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate you guys watching this as always. Melly and Sis, thanks very much for the introduction. And everyone, have a fantastic weekend and enjoy the footy. See yous.